Hey everybody, Angie here. Let me checking to make sure the sound is on. Oh my gosh, it's so good to be back. It feels like it's been forever. I've actually been in the studio a lot, all throughout the week. And let me turn this down over here. There we go. I've been in the studio crafting a lot because I have had some extra time too, so it's been kind of cool. As you can see by looking behind me here, it's been kind of cold weather here in Michigan. But I assure you, maybe it's the other side, that side there, those skiers in the background, they are at least 6 feet apart, so we're good. But yeah, I'm in Michigan, and it's been cold here. We had a couple of days where it was really nice and sunny, and all of a sudden, it's just been really cold. We woke up to a little bit of snow on the ground, not quite as much as we have right now. Yes, we live on a ski resort. Anyway, still having fun with the green screen. You never know exactly where we're going to be. But I've been having a lot of fun with my crafting, and I hope you guys have too. I'm not going to go into talking about everything that's going on in the world because that's not why we're here. I just want to talk about card making. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's interesting because I don't normally get to craft as much anymore, and I'm kind of realizing how out of practice I am, and how, it's funny, when I was doing a lot of card design for other companies back in the day, I was using my Copic markers all the time, I was using my watercolors all the time, and pencils, and I even got into like mixed media and stuff like that. And I would always jump from one thing to the next because as much as I love one thing, I was spending so much time working with it that I would get a little bit bored maybe, and so I would go into something else, and so I would go from Copics to my paints or whatever it was. And now that I've been out of it for a while, and I don't mean out of it in the sense that I haven't been crafting at all, but not doing it as much, it's one of those things where I don't think it's like riding a bike. So it's taking me a little practice to do certain things again. And so I've been kind of in my mind giving myself lessons, myself classes while I'm in the studio, and it's been an absolute pleasure and a joy to just to really be able to spend the time and kind of get my brain into it again. And I've loved it. So anyway, I want to show you some of the things that I've been making really quickly. And you know what? I'm going to switch my camera really quickly to the other one. Hold on a second. Where is this? Okay. Let's see. Let me show you some of the stuff that I've been making because I've been having a lot of fun. And if you don't mind, I'd like to maybe even get a little bit of feedback from you. Let me see who's with me today before I get started. Oh my gosh, I need to really say hello to everybody because this is so exciting that y'all are here. Who's here? We've got Denise, and looks like Ken and or Sandy, or both of you are here. Yay. Alan, my husband, is here. That's why it says welcome, welcome, welcome from my husband. Marilyn, hi. Shelly, hi. Sandra, hi. Ginny. Oh my goodness, that's on YouTube. Who do we have over here in Facebook? Let's see if I can see who's here and give everybody a shout out. We've got Sharon and Karina, hi. Hello. Oh my gosh, I wish I could, for some reason I can't go back and see all of the names, all of the comments when I'm looking at my view here. Really strange. Peggy, well anyway, hi everybody. I'm so thrilled that you're here. So let me show you what I've been doing. And you know what? Before I forget, again, we always do a giveaway. For those of you that have been joining me, you already know this, but for those of you that might be new, I do a giveaway with every single one of these that I do. It's my way of just, putting some really good, fun crafting materials into your stash and giving you guys something that you can play with and enjoy. And it's always going to be some of the products that I use on any given day. Or any given day that we're here together. Anyway, this is something that I'm kind of tossing around for another day, maybe next week. I kind of thought I want to come up with a layout that's fun, that's easy and quick, and I want to kind of tackle it 3 different ways. So give me your feedback on these. Let me know what you think of these. This is all one stamp set. We've got stencils in the background. These are done with dies, and these are all really, really easy. So I'd like a little bit of feedback from you guys. If you can give me an idea if you would like to see this. And I know I'm jumping around. I forgot to mention with that giveaway, we choose it from the comments. So I need you guys to leave comments, ask questions, ask anything you want. They can be questions about me, questions about the company, questions about anything except politics and religion. I'm not going to address either of those because I learned very, very early on in my childhood that those were not good things to discuss. So this is a floral card that I made, and I made a lot of mistakes with it. If you look closely, you can probably see. I'm going to be doing this over again, but I thought this might be something fun that we could do, and I'd like your opinion on this as well. This is done with what we call solid stamping. So I guess with the first set that I showed you, this would be same card 3 ways. This would be solid stamping. And then this is just a really, really fun one with that strawberry patch set that I used last week. And I had a couple of pieces left over. And I decided to do something that was kind of in the country and cozy and patchwork. And I thought, would you like to see something along the lines of this? So we'll call this one In the Country. So let me know if any of those appeal to you. Alan, what do we got going? Is anybody... Oh, yes. Sharon, I agree. We are tired of politics and religion. Absolutely. That will wear you out, won't it? Totally wears me out. Janine Harris, hi. Stamp said it's beautiful. It looks easy, yes.
Drag on screen.
Huh? I can't do it. I can't see in this one. Okay, let's see. Who else is out here? Okay. So this is what I want to talk about today. This is a beautiful floral card. It is super easy. And this is made, let me go back to, let me see. Let me go back to here because I want to show you, I want to show you what I used for this. Let me put these up on the screen so you can see. There we go. I made the card today that we're going to be talking about with our Country Flowers stamp set. It's a 4x6 stamp set, and it comes with beautiful floral arrangements and butterflies and sentiments in it, and it has a coordinating die set. These are the 2 things that we're going to focus on today. And my goal today was to do a card that was not only fast and easy, but was a quick color, really easy and quick to color, and doesn't have a lot of dimension in it. And that's one of my struggles. I've got 2 struggles when I'm card making these days, because back in the day when I used to design for other companies, everything was really shabby chic, and there was a lot of layers and a lot of texture and all that, and we were really filling up. I mean, we were doing 6x6 cards, and so we were really filling things up with a lot of texture and stuff. And it's absolutely, you know, a feast for the eyes, absolutely gorgeous. But today, nowadays, we're doing things that are a little more clean and simple. And instead of spending 3 hours painting or coloring an image before you even get to the card making, it's, you know, we're coloring things quickly, and because, you know, we just don't have as much time in our day anymore. So this stamp set I thought was perfect for that, and I thought it was also something that would challenge me to do something with Copic markers, or any alcohol marker for that matter, that was going to be an easy and quick color, and hopefully maybe teach you a little something about coloring quick and easy. So I'm going to switch the camera again, and we're going to take a look at these more closely. Okay. Oops, let me turn the green screen off behind it because it looks weird. And I'm going to get rid of these 2 images. Okay, so this is what we're going to make. This is the stamp set, and yes, that is very dark and very black on there because this one is very, very well loved. This is my personal sample pack that I used to stamp this image. And then these are the dies. Okay, all of these dies they're hollowed out in the center so that you can see through them. It really makes it easy to line things up and cut the images out. So it's absolutely perfect and beautiful. So, oh, and I wanted to mention here, let me show you this too. The back is going to show you everything in color, so it gives you a really good suggestion as to how you could color them, where you could put your shadowing and your shading and stuff. And then on the back of the dies, we show you which die goes around which stamped image. Because sometimes when you're looking at the front, when you're just looking at a die and you just grab this die, you may not know, is this die here going to go around this image, or is this die going to go around this image? They look similar, and you might want, kind of have to fuss with it a little bit to see which one is going to go around. But on the back, we kind of tell you exactly, so it makes it really easy for you. We also tell you this die set coordinates with this stamp set. And over here we tell you this stamp set coordinates with this die set. Really, really easily. Or really, really easy, I'm sorry. And then you can put all your dies right back into the packaging, so it's really, really easy storing them. Okay, so here are 2 images that I pre-stamped. I'm not going to go through how to stamp. You guys have seen me stamp, and we can, if anybody needs to learn how to stamp, we can cover that at another time. I didn't do anything special with this. Let me lower this down here. I want to show you this. I didn't do anything special with this in terms of masking or layering or anything like that. I literally just chose the large stamp, goes up in the corner. I chose one of the butterflies. This one happens to be kind of in flight. And then I chose this little flower arrangement here to come in off of the side, as though it were kind of coming in, off of another cluster of flowers that was over here. Now in this stamp set, we have sentiments here. This one says just a little note. That's what I've stamped right here. And then you can complete that however you like with these options here. We've got just a little note to say hi, just to say thanks, to make you smile, or to brighten your day, which is the one that I chose. So you can customize the sentiment however you like it to be. All right, so I have 2 of these here, just in case I make a mistake, to be perfectly honest with you. I also stamped, because everybody always wants to know what papers I use. This time I stamped on the Express It blending card. It's perfect to use with Copic markers, or any alcohol marker for that matter, but this one is specifically selected for use with Copic markers, and it just happens to say that right here. So I use this time because this is it's more of a bright white compared to I can't think of it. I think it's Nina. Nina is the other that I use, and that one is just slightly off white. This one is a much brighter white. So I'm going to grab my Copic markers, and this is the selection that I have. Here's what I thought I would do. When I was learning to use Copic markers, I was really always told kind of a light, medium, and dark. So you would color in 3s, light, medium, dark, and for easy blending, for easy transition from light to dark, and so on and so forth. But I wanted to kind of challenge myself and work with only 2, am I missing one here? I'm missing one of my colors. Is it on the, where's one of my colors?
What you missing?
I'm missing, I've got my purples, I'm missing one of my pinks. All right, you're going to have to bear with me for just a second. What I was going to say though is I wanted to challenge myself to only work with 2 colors or 2 shades of each color. So give me just a minute. I have to grab, what?
What number do you need?
I'm not sure. Give me just a minute. I have to grab I'm missing a color for some reason. It's this one here. Okay. I think I've got it. I think this is it. Let me double check if I have the right color. So just give me a quick second here. I'm sorry this part is a little boring. But I need to make sure I have the right color. I accidentally put it away. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Don't want to mess this up now that I've started. Okay. So, like I said, I've challenged myself to grab only 2 colors. So instead of light, medium, dark, I have light and medium. So for my blues, you know what, I'm not going to go through all the list of the colors. I will actually list these in the description down below when I'm done. So I'm going to start with the pink. And now when I color with Copic markers or any, I'm going to stop correcting myself with any alcohol marker. I use Copic markers and I'm probably just going to keep saying that. So let's just go with it. I usually start with light and then I go to dark. Now, I decided that since I'm only using 2 of each color, I'm going to use white as my third color. So my white, which is going to be my highlight, is going to be my third color. And now if you see, this is what I'm talking about. Notice here where I've come in with my 2 shades of pink and then I left some of the white for the highlight all around that. And you're going to notice I do that throughout. With my purple, with the green, the yellow, blue. That white is going to be my highlight. Now this is stamped with my hybrid ink and I let it sit. Now I stamped this and I stamped it a couple of times. I wanted it to be really, really good, have really, really good coverage. So I stamped it a couple of times and I walked away from it for just a little bit to make sure that it was completely dry. And so I'm starting with my really light color, which is my RV52. And I'm going to just kind of go up in a quick little circle here. You know, I should probably let me put this underneath it because I think I'm seeing that gray underneath.
Sandra's asking if we have that paper on our site.
No, we actually do not sell it. But I mean, I'm sure you can get it on Amazon and there's a lot of places you can get it. So I'm just very quickly coming in here with my little bit of my pink. And notice I'm not turning my hand around. For those of you that are new to Copics, I'm not turning my hand. Instead, I'm turning my image. Okay? I'm going to go around to all of these because I'm not going to be doing a tremendous amount of blending. I'm going to go ahead to all of these bigger pink flowers, give them a little bit of color. I'm not being really, really precise. So right now I'm only doing, fuzz on here, I'm only doing the larger main flowers in the pink. Let's see, are there any more? I've got one over here. Just give that a tiny little hint of pink. And let's see, and I've got one over here. And then I've got this one right here. And I'm leaving all of those edges up at the tip in white. Okay, I think I've got them all. So now I'm going to go to my next. Alan, can you do me a favor? Can you get me a white piece of paper from over there?
Here?
Yep, from right up, the little ones that are cut in half. There we go. Right there, yep. It gives me, I'm still want to double check something here. I'm a little concerned that I have the wrong pink. Nope, it's right. Yeah, sometimes you get something stuck in your head and you're just not sure. So now I'm going to come in here with this darker pink and I'm going to go almost up to the edge of that lighter pink. And just so you know, this isn't necessarily a technique, this is just the way that I wanted it to look, and it's crafting. So anything is right when it comes to crafting, right? You can't go wrong. Any mistake can be fixed, even if the fix is just to cover it. Which, believe me, I do. a lot of. Alan, do we have any questions from anybody?
No.
Okay.
Why do you go so deep with the color? That's my question.
As
opposed to just a thin shadow.
What do you mean?
I'm just wondering why you go...
My husband is asking me why I go so dark with the color instead of it being really, really light. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, why not just shade it with the dark on the center?
You could do that. There's nothing wrong with that. He's saying, why not just shade it with the dark? You can certainly do that. I wanted to have more vibrant flowers. I think it's going to be up to what your eye likes to see. I tend to really like color. And strong color. The walls of my house are actually very, very light grays, very, very light blues. But that allows me to use it as a backdrop when I want to put artwork up. And so the artwork that I put up in the house tends to have more color. And so it really stands out and pops against the light walls. And that's kind of what we're doing here. We're leaving the background of this card very light.
Kathy's asking why you turn the paper versus adjusting your hand.
If I were to adjust my hand, that's an excellent question. Kathy is wondering why I'm turning the paper instead of turning my hand. I can only turn my hand so far. And what's most important for me is to make sure that my hand is comfortable. If I can only control my hand so much. So, for example, this is how I would naturally write. And I can control my hand if I want to make a curve like this. If my hand is turned like this and I need to make a curve, it's going to be a lot more difficult, and I'm not going to be as precise with it because I can't control my hand as I start bending my wrist around. So I keep it really comfortable so my hand can do the work.
More work.
I just realized one of the things when you have a black and white image, everything looks just kind of black and white, and so sometimes you don't see some of the images stand out. So I missed that flower right there when I put the lighter pink down. So I'm coming up and I'm following the curve of each of these petals, almost like little hearts. And if you notice, that white ends up kind of telling the story and separating the flowers so that they stand out from each other. If I had gone all the way up to the edge and didn't leave that little bit of white, this is the lighter color, I'm just going in and where I completely covered it. If I didn't leave that little bit of white, these colors would just blend together. I like having that white because it really makes them just kind of pop and stand out. So I'm going to do this one over here, this little bud, a little bit darker. I'm just doing a second coat with the same pink. Now I want to address the centers of each of these. And all I'm going to do with this brush tip, I want to leave, like, I'm going to start with the bigger one so you can see it. I want to have a little bit of color in the center here, but I want to leave white again at the tip. So all I'm doing is touching down with my brush and leaving the tips of those white. I don't know if you can see that very well on camera, but now I'm going to do the same thing in the darker pink, but I'm not going to come up as far with it. And it's not going to really stand out, but it's going to add a lot of dimension. So you're seeing it, but your eye isn't drawn to it. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but it It just adds a really nice pop of color. Actually, this one, because this is so little over here, I'm just going to come in at the very, very base of each one of those and just dot around just to add a little bit of pink in the center. Again, leaving the tips. It may not be noticeable to just look at it and see it, but it's going to make a difference overall. And because those are so small, I didn't really have to turn the paper, because I didn't have to be as precise. When I want to be more precise, I turn the paper around because I want the brush to be pointing in a certain direction. Alan, will you let me know if my head gets in the camera?
Sure.
There we go. So there's that one. And then I have this last one here. And I'm just going to dot that around because it's really shallow. A little bit of that pink in the middle. All right. So that's all there is with the pink. So that's really easy. Next, so that's only 2 colors plus the white. And look how that pops already. So pretty. Now I'm going to go to the yellow. No reason why, I'm just going to yellow. I could go to the purple or whatever, I just decided I wanted to do yellow. So again, I've got my brush tip. I'm going to start light and then go dark. I'm going to leave that little bit of white. Now this doesn't require me to have quite as much control, so I don't really need to turn the paper because I'm not doing like with these I was making more of a shape, and so it wasn't as comfortable for me to do unless I turned the paper. So all I'm doing is dotting in a little bit of yellow here in each of these little flowers. Literally just laying the brush down. And let's see, is there any over here? Oops, Alan, we just lost camera.
Okay. The alarm didn't go off.
Oops, there we go. Camera's back. Sorry, I don't know why we lost the camera.
The timer didn't go off.
Okay, what else do I have? Oh, this one over here. Get a little bit of color over here. And are there any more? I don't think so. I don't see any more. Oh, I got one over here. There we go. And then I'm going to go with my, is this orange? That one's orange. That goes in the center. I actually come in with the same yellow and go over just the centers a little bit more, dot that in. And it's just going to deepen it a tiny bit. I don't want to go dark with this yellow. I want it to stay vibrant and bright. Okay. So then I'm going to go with, this was my Y15. This is a YR. So it's more of a yellow red. And I just want to come into the center of each of these and just dot that in there. Let's see, is there any more? I think that's it for those. Okay. Next, we have these little flowers over here I want to do in purple. So I've got, this is a beautiful violet. I love violet. This is V01 and 04. And these are little clusters. You know what? I don't know what kind of flowers they are, if they're even real flowers or if they're just kind of fake pretty flowers. But they're little clusters of 4. So again, I'm keeping that white. And notice I've just come in. Let's see if you can see this. Okay, just in the center of each of these. And I'm keeping the, these I can just dot because they're so little. But I'm leaving a little bit of white on the outside of each one of those. And you will see that a little bit better once I add the darker color. I'm literally just dotting that in. Whole bunch of them over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one kind of has 4. So that's all there is to that. And now I'm going to use the second color, the darker one, and be a little less on each one of these. Again, leaving the outer tip of each of those petals with some white. I'm coming right in over the lighter purple, but I'm not taking the color out as far. There we go. Get this one over here. And now I'm going to use that lighter color just to kind of blend a tiny bit on some of these where the transition between the white and the purple is maybe a little too harsh. But I'm still leaving a lot of that white, because it's that white that's going to separate each of those for me. Can you see that? Aren't they pretty? And it's so simple to do. So that is the purple. Let me make sure I got all the flowers. Any questions from anybody?
Yes.
Alan?
Sharon wanted to know how you got into crafting.
Oh, how did
Were you an art major?
That's a couple of questions. I actually majored in finance, if you can believe it. But all right, I'm going to tell the story a little bit as I color. First, let me address what I'm going to do with the green, and then I'll tell you my story. So I've got my 2 greens here. I've got YG 23 and 25, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to show you on the bigger leaf here. I'm literally going to come in and just do a quick little swoop in each of these sections. Now, if you see here, I've left a lot of white there. So I come in from the center and I went along the bottom of each of those little veins, and I left some of the white up on the top of each of them. And then I'm going to come in with my darker one and do that same thing, but I'm not going to cover as much. All right, so let me show you how that is. See how that looks? Okay, so back to the question. Sharon, I think it was, asked me, how did I get into crafting, and was I an art major? No, I was not an art major. Like I said, I was a finance major. I'm going to go ahead and color while I talk. When I was in school, I always had art classes, beautiful, like, graphic art classes. I absolutely loved that kind of stuff. But one of the things I loved the most was decorating. And so when I went away to school, I actually was going to study interior design, to be honest with you. Lo and behold, I didn't want to live in Chicago, and I didn't want to move to New York. So I realized that it was probably not going to happen the way that I wanted it to happen unless I left Michigan, and I'm a real homebody and I love being around my family, so I didn't want to do that. And I have always had a thing for math. It's probably my most favorite class in school, and so I decided engineering. And then I decided I don't really want to be an engineer. I'll be a math major. Until my brother, who is an engineer and a few years older than me, had differential equations. And he brought some of that home over a break. He went to Michigan Technological University, way up in Houghton, Michigan. And he had differential equations, and he brought that home over a holiday. And I decided in that very moment that I did not ever want to work that hard. So what else could I do with numbers? And I switched, by the way, to the darker green. So what else could I do with numbers? And that was how I ended up in finance. which I did for a long time. But anyway, without going into too much, boring you, a friend of mine invited me to a Stampin' Up! Thing at her home. She's actually one of my dearest friends. And I remember her saying to me, I didn't even know what it was, and I remember her saying to me, "You don't have to buy anything, I just need a body there. I just need people." So I thought, okay, I'll go. And I think I spent like $200 in that night, not buying anything. But that was my introduction to that. And then, unfortunately, at some point, my grandmother passed away, and I decided to do a memory album for her, because I thought I am kind of the historian of our family, the keeper of all the history of who everybody is. It's very important to me to know where we come from and who we are. So I did a beautiful memory album for her, and sorry, I'm getting a little sentimental. I wanted everybody to know that because of her, the rest of us were even in existence. And that was an introduction to scrapbooking for me. One thing led to another, and I am not an interior designer. I do not participate very much in finance anymore. But I have a love of color, and I have a love of design. And actually starting LDRS was a perfect fit for me because I get to work with color and design, and I get to use my creative passion in a whole different way, and I get to share it with other people. So see what happens when you ask me a question?
A couple people said they got started Stampin' Up! Too.
It's a fantastic company. It absolutely is a fantastic company, and I still have all of my stamps. I've got all my wooden stamps. I have everything. And I remember my husband saying to me, I used to do project design for Magnolia back in the day. And I remember my husband just recently, I would say in the last few months, he was in the studio in our home, and he was like, "Why don't you get rid of some of this stuff?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? These are like my children. There is no way." Okay. So now I've got, what do I have? B21 and 24. So I decided, when I thought about butterflies, and I thought, I don't want pinks. I don't want, whenever I think of butterflies, I think of, I don't know, are they like tiger something, butterflies or something? I don't know what they have, like brown and yellow and gold. But I thought I don't want to do that because I have yellow in here, and what I wanted to do was have the butterfly be a color that wasn't already in this floral arrangement. And so I got online to see what colors butterflies were, and I saw this one. It was absolutely stunning, and it was just beautiful blues, just kind of intertwined and mixing together. It was so pretty. So that's what I decided to do. So I'm starting out with the light blue, and again, I'm not going to be going all the way up each one of these. We'll call them sections or veins. I'm leaving white in here. Let me lift that up so you can see what I've done. Doesn't look spectacular, but it's going to look a little bit better when I'm done. So now I've got the darker blue, and I want to be careful with this. And I was very careful when I chose the blue too, because I stamped this in black, and I didn't want a blue that was going to end up too dark and take away or compete with the black lines that that you see, from stamping the image. So I'm just going to dot a little bit of blue in here. And now, let me lift that up so you can see that. I'm going to go over this again just a little bit with that light blue. Again, I'm still leaving some of that white, but I'm just kind of blending out the edge of that a tiny, tiny little bit. And now I want to really deepen the innermost sections of that blue. So right down in each of those little corners where that blue starts, I'm just going in with the same blue. The nice thing about these Copics is when you layer them, they get darker. And so I'm being very, very particular and careful here. Just dotting in a little bit of color where I think it needs it. My lighter blue again here where I've got maybe a little more white than I want. Take this one up a tiny bit. Just deepen that. Any more questions from anybody?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You design your stamps like Winnie.
Do I do them?
That's the question.
Okay, the question is, do I design the
That's
stamps
from
like Winnie?
Liz.
Liz is asking. I do not, actually. Can I draw? Yes. Can I illustrate? Yes, I can. I haven't in years. Winnie is actually a Polka Doodles product. So Nikki Hall, the absolutely fabulous and one of my dearest friends, Nikki Hall actually owns Polka Doodles, and we produce a custom line for her. But she illustrates those, not me. I just have the honor of making them into stamps for you guys. Okay, so now this is done. How long did that take? Not very long at all. So the next thing we're going to do, now this, by the way, I should mention, I already cut this. All right, let me back up. We're making an A2 sized card. A2 is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. And so I have cut 1/2 inch off of either side of this. So this has turned out to be, in this direction it is 3 3/4, and then this is 5 inches across. And then, I have the wrong thing here. So this right here is just 1/2 of a letter size sheet of paper, cardstock. So this is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. Fold it over. So this then becomes my card base. Put that. So I have these two pieces here. So I have the card base and the topper. And then I want, if I just put this on here like this, it's not going to really stand out very well. So I want something that's going to set that off and make that pop, make the color on that card pop. So I decided just to work with some black cardstock. And I'm going to cut this in the middle. So I had, the card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to cut this cardstock then 1/4 inch off of each side. So it's 5 1/4 by 4. Second guessing myself. Okay, so this should fit, and it should give me 1/8 inch on all sides, and it does. What is that? Why is that thing on the screen? It's trying to autofocus something, it looks like.
It thinks it's an eyeball.
So, do you remember when I was saying, you know, we're going to be seeing that little autofocus thing until the new camera comes in? Guess what's not coming in? Yeah, the new camera is not coming in. So, I've just put some adhesive on the back of this, and I'm going to center my Easy Color Floral over the black, and then I'm going to do the same thing and put it on this card front. Alan, did you say there was another question?
There is. Sharon wants to know how you decide which stamp designs to pick from your artists and designers. artists/designers?
So Sharon wants to know how I decide which stamp designs I'm going to pick. First of all, my heart has to be in it. When we're going into, I generally come up with the themes and kind of a general feeling for what I would like to see and where I want the next collections to go. And then I have meetings with our illustrators, and we kind of decide who's going to do what based on their strengths and stuff. And but I'll tell you, if I'm not crazy about the design that comes in, it doesn't go anywhere. I have to feel something for it, to be honest with you. If it doesn't speak to me in some way, if it doesn't make me smile, if it doesn't make me feel good, if it's not something that I would actually want to craft with, then it doesn't go any further. So it's really just kind of my feeling. Okay, so here's the card. Here's the first one that I made. Let me show you this. Here's the first one that I made right here. And then this is the one that we just colored up. And as you can see, that did not take very long at all to color. And another challenge for me was to make a card that was really flat. If you remember when I had said when I was originally designing projects for other companies, there was a lot of stuff going on. So for me to do clean and simple, without a lot of texture, without a lot of dimension, without a lot of things happening, is not an easy thing. And so a challenge also for me is to leave white space. And as you can see, I've got white space on this card. That's hugely challenging for me. So much that I decided that I needed to have just a little bit of texture and dimension. So I stamped off 2 more little butterflies, and I decided to cut them out. If you're wondering why I showed you the die set that coordinates this, it's because I used it to cut these little butterflies out, and I colored them in the blues to match the butterfly, and then I cut it out, and I've taken it and I've folded it down the center, and I thought I would pop it up right here. And then that's going to give me one little bit of texture. And that again is, that's completely optional if it's something that you like to do or want to do or don't want to do. So I put a little bit of adhesive right in that center. I think I got it on it. I didn't get very much. Let's try this again. It is not easy for me to do clean and simple, although I love it. I will tell you, I absolutely love the style. It's just not easy for me, and I'm not able to get, Alan, you know what, let me use this. My little tape roll thing, I wasn't able to get a, okay, Angie is currently struggling with tape. Alright, there we go. So here we go. I'm going to put this one here. And then that one just kind of sticks up a little bit. See how his wings are popped up? So I guess, you know what, let me ask you guys. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the one that is perfectly flat, or the one that has the little butterfly that gives it a little bit of dimension? What do you say? Let me know. I need you guys to comment if you haven't commented, because we're going to be doing a giveaway very, very soon. And we need to know you're here.
Someone asked, do you always matte in black?
No, I do not. Somebody asked if I always matte
in black.
What?
Do you prefer to matte in black?
Somebody asked if I prefer to matte in black. And no, I actually don't. I don't have a preference. I matted this in black because I wanted the contrast with the black. You know, I've got the black lines in here. What I was thinking of doing, to be honest with you, instead of matting it, I almost took a ruler and a black marker and just drew a line all around like this on the inside, just to make it look like there was a frame. But I decided to keep it open because I thought that's going to encroach on that white space that I wanted to leave. And so I thought the black in this case was going to be a really, really nice contrast, or a nice touch. Nice contrast to the white edge, but it was going to really pull it together. I've stamped in black. And so I thought that would be really nice. And that way it also makes all of the colors pop out. Had I chosen the pink or the yellow or the purple as the matte on this, I would have been drawing attention to one of those colors, and I didn't necessarily want to do that. And I think that's kind of where my whole interior design, my love of interior design comes in, because I always think about balance of color, and I think about contrast of color. And around my house, I actually use black as an accent all around my house. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So anyway.
Everybody likes the extra butterfly with the dimension.
You like the extra, okay, so the extra butterfly with dimension wins. Thumbs up, yay. Oh my goodness, how fun. What?
Do you like flowers better than the other? I think she means stamps.
Oh, Alan, we went to fluorescent. Let's change that. Hey, look at that. That's actually kind of cool. I look snowy.
You look what?
I look snowy. Can you change it?
Better?
All right, no. All right, something's wrong with the camera.
Nah, it just doesn't. How's that? Or better?
When that happens, you can actually see the green screen, the background, like through me. It's totally bizarre.
We should do a whole video that way, whole live that way.
That is the camera when that happens, and I don't know why it happens. We haven't figured out why it happens, but
it goes to sleep on us.
It goes, yeah, but it goes to sleep on us because the cameras only last 30 minutes, and that's why the other camera isn't showing up, because that one, as it turns out, is only going to last 30 minutes as well, and then it goes to sleep.
All Canon cameras.
All
non-professional.
All right, he's getting techie on me, which I love, but now's not the time. Okay, so I mentioned giveaway, didn't I? Let's do a giveaway. I am going to give away the stamp set and the die set that I worked with on this card, and it's just so much fun. It's called Country Flowers, and I think you're gonna love it. And the winner, my husband is picking the winners now. By the way, I'm letting him pick.
No, I'm not.
And the winner today is Karina Saba, S-A-B-A. Yay, Karina! I need you, please, to send me a message on Facebook. Send me a what is it called? A private message, I guess, on Facebook. And I'm going to need your complete mailing address so that we can get this out to you. These are the actual ones that are going to be sent to you. So, oh boy, it's chilly here in Michigan. The snow, look at that. Those skiers are still out there. My gosh. Their toes have got to be froze. Oh my gosh, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I had so much fun. I hope you liked my card. I'm trying to challenge myself to get in the studio more and to do things that are not my normal way of doing things. So I'm trying to learn, and as I learn and as I make mistakes, I'm going to try and share those with you guys as well. So I'm thinking, what?
Another question?
Another question?
Yes.
Okay.
Will you come out with more animals to go with the mice and backgrounds?
Will we come out with more animals to go with the mice and backgrounds?
Yes. I didn't see the original question, but this was...
More animals? I'm assuming... Okay. Huh?
Yeah, and have they come up with other animals to go with them?
To go with the other animals to go with the mice, like we have like the bears that go with the mice,
and more backgrounds.
And we have the I think I'm going to try and understand the question. We have in the Strawberry Patch we have the bears and the mice, and then in the Up and Away, no, it's not Up and Away. There's another one.
It is Up and Away. There's mice.
No, it's the board. Are there mice in that one? And Boardwalk has the mice. Yeah, wherever the mice fit in with different little critters, we're always coming out with more critter things, and we actually have a really, really beautiful collection that's going to be coming out pretty soon. I think it's going to be beginning to, I think maybe the beginning of June. I have to wait and see exactly when the dies are going to be showing up. Everything's a little bit delayed and a little bit pushed off just because of everything that's been going on in the world that we don't really want to focus on in this video. But so yes, we do have more coming out, and we've got more of the Pocket Pals and we will have some more backgrounds. We've got a really, really cool, fun background, actually, that's going to be coming out. I'm assuming the backgrounds you're talking about are like the barnyard and stuff where you can open the doors and the windows and things. So we do have some of those coming up too. So I think you're going to be really, really happy. We've got a really, really cool release coming up. So did we get any comments on these? Did anybody say anything about these and doing something with these? I wonder.
Someone asked what you do with the cards that you make.
What do I do with the cards that I make?
People said they like all three of them.
Okay. Well, first of all, I think we're going to do something with this on Thursday. I think I like the idea of kind of doing something 3 different ways, showing you how you can use one stamp set. That's really what I did here. All 3 of these are all one stamp set. And I did a stencil for the background, so that's really inexpensive, being able to stencil your background. And then it's the same layout, but the card looks different on all 3 of these. So I'm going to do that, I think, on Thursday. So we'll have some fun with that. What do I do with the cards? Well, to be honest with you, a lot of the cards, if I'm not giving them to, like as a gift or something to family, like for a birthday or something like that, a lot of the cards will be saved for like when we go to trade shows and stuff like that. I'll bring them. But I personally don't get to make a whole lot of cards, so I don't end up with a lot. I'm making a lot now, and I think I'm actually going to be trying to find some way to get them maybe to some of the hospital staff, nurses, things like that. Or even, I've even thought about maybe even like when we get our groceries delivered, I was thinking of putting them on in an envelope and just kind of tacking it to the door for the grocery delivery person, just so it's just, a thank you, something fun and personal for them. So that's one of the reasons why I'm crafting more now, actually, too. So anyway, I think that is it, unless we have any more questions. We have anything? No? I had so much fun. And hi, if I didn't get to mention your name, then I'm so sorry, but hi, I'm so glad you guys are here. I had so much fun. Let me see if there's anything out here that my husband isn't saying that maybe I should see.
Do you ever go to the Stamp and Scrapbook Expos in California?
No. Do I ever go to the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo in California? No, we have not done that. We're in Michigan. And so going to, California is quite a ways away. And yes, we've gone to Phoenix for the trade show. We've got a trade show that we do also in Las Vegas.
We've done California.
Yeah, we've been to California when the trade show was there, but it's we don't do the whole the scrapbook kind of circuit thing, just because it's so expensive to do and to travel around, and California is quite far from here. But so that's the only reason we haven't done it up until now, just because it's literally across the country. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I had so much fun. I hope you enjoyed my card. I hope that you will be back with me on Thursday, and we'll have something fun for you then. We're going to be doing, I'm not sure I'll get to do all 3 cards unless I have them prepped, and maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll have them all prepped and we'll just do the backgrounds a little bit. But we're going to have a little bit of fun with stencils and the same card 3 different ways with one stamp set. So thank you for coming. I hope you guys have a great evening, and I hope that you will join me on Thursday, same time, same place. Bye, and maybe all the snow will be gone by then.